Now, if you watched my SLK video, you'll know that I told you that I'm not a big fan of convertibles, and that's because I am a huge fan of motorcycles. This is a 2023 Honda Rebel 300. This is a single-cylinder bike, and today I'm going to tell you why I love single-cylinder motorcycles so much. Let's dive into it. Now, for those of you who may have watched the video or seen me early on in the Car Wizard, you'll know that I bought a Harley Sportster from him at the beginning of my time here. I rode it around for a little while. I wasn't the biggest fan of it. I'm not a huge fan of Harleys, but I am a big fan of these Honda Rebels. This is actually the second Honda Rebel that I've owned. The first one being a 2017 when I was back in California. It was like a gunmetal gray kind of style. I really liked it, really fell in love with the bike, and I've been very impressed. The 2023 has a couple of improvements that I'm a really big fan of, one of which being the all LED headlight. Definitely an upgrade as opposed to the halogen bulbs. Now, this is a Honda Rebel 300, but it's 289 cc's. It has about 27 horsepower and about 29 pound-feet of torque. Not the most powerful motorcycle out there, but for someone like me, this is perfect. It'll still do highway speeds. I can get around wherever I want to go, and it's just a whole lot more fun to drive. So let's go take this for a spin. We're gonna head on up to the Wizard shop, and we're gonna compare it side by side to Car Wizard's Fatboy. Let's go over there. On my right is my 2023 Honda Rebel 300. On my left is Car Wizard's 2008 Harley Fatboy. Now, one of the first things we're gonna do is we're gonna do a quick sound check. We've got almost 2 liters and 2 cylinders behind this Fatboy. And over here, I've got 289 cc's single cylinder. Let's see how they sound. Now, you probably heard a pretty clear difference between the Harley Fatboy and the Honda Rebel. This is almost 2 liters, 2 big cylinders, making a very nice, deep, throaty idle. This, on the other hand, sounds more like a lawnmower. Now, that's nothing against these bikes. That's one of the reasons why I like it. I don't need something that's big and loud. Everyone says loud pipes save lives, but if that were the case, they'd point the exhaust in all 4 directions like a fire truck points its horn. Now, for me, one of the big selling points on a bike like this is the entry price. Brand new, non-ABS, this bike was $4,789. Back in 2008, this Harley Fatboy would have had an MSRP of starting around $17,000. Definitely a big difference in price, definitely a big difference in performance. Will this do 0 to 60? Absolutely. Will it do 80? If the conditions are right. However, on this Harley, that's nothing you have to worry about. It's comfortable cruising at any speed. Now let's go ahead and take a closer look at these bikes, see what options they have to offer. I was still really in love with that 2017 Honda, and after I sold it, it was the only motorcycle I ever really wanted to have again. Now this one's finished in a nice cherry red. We'll go ahead and turn the key on. A nice display that says Rebel on the bottom. You can see I've got 265 miles on this motorcycle. One of the big selling points for me about these motorcycles is you can see from the calculator, I'm getting 60 miles to a gallon. And that's with me riding this thing hard. I'm full throttle, hard acceleration. I do not treat this thing lightly, and that's why I enjoy it so much. Yes, it has a top speed of about 75, 80 miles an hour, but it's so much fun, such a great way to get around. And I'm not on something like a sport bike where I could do 170 miles an hour, no problem. This is much more dialed back, and it's much more my speed. Now, about the only thing that I've done to this bike is I've got a battery tender installed. I haven't made any modifications to it. There's not a whole lot of months out of the year here in Kansas that are perfect for motorcycle weather, but we're coming up into them now. And I'm really excited I get to make some commutes on this. Now, one thing that you'll notice, if you look at these front tires, both bikes' front tires are about the same size. And that's one thing that I love about the Rebel's styling. It's just a little bit more aggressive. No, it doesn't necessarily make a big difference in terms of handling, but it's just so light, I can throw it around, and I'm never worried about dropping it because it's relatively inexpensive. If I need to do maintenance on it, look at this. Look at all the room that you have. You only have one spark plug, one fuel injector, little radiator, little fan. It's very, very simple, very well designed, liquid cooled, makes this just a perfect little single cylinder for putting around town. Now this 2008 Harley Fatboy is a big V-twin. Definitely fast, lots of power, very comfortable. One thing I will say in terms of seating position, this is definitely a more comfortable seating position. Regardless of whether or not the Rebel had the little floorboards, this is definitely more of a comfortable riding position. This also has a few extra accessories on it. It's got the bags on the side, it's got a couple of speakers that have been added to it. And it's also got a nice exhaust to make it sound a lot better. Overall, this bike is in excellent condition. If we take a look up here, you can see this bike has a little over 46,000 miles on it. Very good condition. You can see how much wider the fuel tank is on this one. This is about 5 gallons. That one's just under 3 gallons. This is a beautiful bike. Definitely the bike of choice for a lot of people, and I understand why. However, this is definitely more my style and more my speed. One other thing to point out, it's just a single cylinder without an extra cylinder to back it up. It definitely lags when you've got extra weight on it. Now, I'm not quite sure what I'm gonna do with this just yet. I really would like to modify it. I'm not sure what modifications to make just yet. Part of me really wants to see how much power I can get out of a single cylinder engine. I know it wouldn't be much, but I'd like to see what it's capable of. I'd also like to make a couple of adjustments in terms of seating position. I'd like to get some aftermarket pegs a little bit farther forward, or maybe even some floorboards like the Harley has. Something just to make that riding position a little easier for those longer trips. Now, one thing to keep in mind if you are shopping for a motorcycle, depending on what size you are, for reference, I'm 5'9", 170 pounds. I can get away with a smaller single cylinder engine. If you're a bigger guy, over 6 foot, this is probably not gonna be a comfortable riding position for very long. You'll definitely wanna look at something bigger with more power, especially something with a more comfortable riding position to get you around. So now there's definitely room for both bikes. This is definitely a great motorcycle, got a lot of heritage, something that a lot of people love and for good reason. This is a great entry-level bike, people looking to get into it. Maybe they don't want to go whole hog just yet. It's a great way to get around, have a little bit of fun, and meet new people. Well, that'll be it for this video. I want to say thank you all very much. This channel is still growing, and I'm so grateful to have all of you for watching. I can't wait to show you what else is coming later this year. There's a lot more content to come from this channel. Thank you all for watching.